Hi, my name is Michael Bean, and this is your lesson for myfreeactingclass.com for Wednesday, January the 13th. Welcome back. It's 2021. Leanne Lapp will be teaching on Mondays. So if you don't know the score yet, she's going to be doing industry insider info and straight talk. Those lessons will not be recorded. So you'll have to show up next Monday, January the 18th, if you want to get Leanne's particular brand of goodness. Today, I'm going to be going over an acting exercise with you. This is something I was talking about yesterday. Tuesdays, we do self-tape review. And now that we are restarting for 2021, I want to make it as low barrier as possible for everybody to send me self-tapes. And so yesterday after class, I spent some time putting together this exercise, and I want to walk you through it. I'm going to show you where to find it. And then Artie and Jade have both volunteered to play with us. And Candy, if you're open to it, I would love to have you as an example. And anybody who joins in. Now, if you are watching this video at home, then what I recommend you do is you download this PDF. The link is right on the website, and then record this and send me one of the self-tape of yourself, you doing this little 15-second audition. Um, it, I want to make it as simple and straightforward as possible. If you watch yesterday's lesson about self-tapes, you can really do it just with your phone, as long as you sort of put it up at eye level. And we'll go through the PDF together. This is an exercise that I called character lines that I built for my classes quite some time ago. I've been teaching film and TV acting for almost 20 years, and I took a workshop that was not at all a film and TV workshop that used something like this exercise, and I was like, this is genius. I have to borrow it. And I don't know if you've heard this phrase, that if you borrow from one person, it's plagiarism. If you borrow from lots of people, it's a research. So this is a well-researched activity. Now, if you go on to myfreeactingclass.com, then you will find the links for classes, obviously, a little bit of write-up. Now, here's the brand new thing. It says download the practice exercise. Click on this, ta-da, and it will start downloading the PDF for you. And then email your self-tapes to info@myfreeactingclass.com. You click on that, it'll open up an email that goes right to me. And all of the emails with self-tapes that I get, I will review. And if I don't have time to show it and talk about it in the lesson, then I will at least give you some notes and do that by email. And myself and Leanne are both committed to doing that for everybody who sends in tapes. We'll here, there's the video archive. So yesterday's lesson is already online. And my plan is to keep those as up to date as possible. So if you want to look at the video archive, you can, if you went there, I think, and even scanned for casting directors, then you would find a couple of great, great guests that we had. So casting director, boom. Oh, no, okay, it doesn't search just my list. Curses, I will figure this out. Maybe I'll have to go in and tag all the casting director ones. And then this more free stuff will take you to a page that has a whole bunch of downloads, including a 42-page handbook that I wrote just actually as I was starting my school almost 20 years ago, and I've revised it repeatedly. It's now on its 4th edition, I think. Called the Confidence on Camera Handbook, and that goes over what is a talent agent, what do they do, what is a casting director, what do they do, like here's sort of 20 things to think about when you're going in for auditions, when we're allowed to go into them in person again. Now, I want to look at this practice exercise today, and then I want to get some of you to help me out. So if you downloaded that PDF and opened it up, you would see this. Character lines. For this on-camera exercise, choose one line of dialogue from the following pages. Set up your camera or phone like you would for filming a self-tape. Now, for those of you who've been checking out the camera lessons, which at this point are Tuesdays, here. All of this will be review. So neutral background, a light reflected in your eyes, The place you're looking is very close to the camera, and really that means just a few centimeters. So there's my camera. I'm looking right at the camera. You never want to do that while you're acting because it looks like you're looking right into the audience, the eyes of the people talking. Instead, you want your eye line to be just to one side or just to the other side. And it can be even be closer than that, just to one side, just to the other side. The camera is in horizontal position, which you'll see listed on a lot of self-tape auditions. They'll be like, hey, remember to put your camera in horizontal position. So they must be still getting auditions where people are taping with their phone vertically. Stand in one spot close to the camera. That's your mark. So if you step into your mark, step away from your mark, marks are used more on set than in auditions, but they're still relevant. And only show the top of your head to your armpits, which is a medium close-up, which is what you're seeing me in right now. Not a medium shot, would be head to down about my waist, and in a medium shot, the felt sense is that you just don't get as much feeling. Now, below this, you will find 52 pages of individual lines of dialogue. And the idea is just to choose a single one of these lines of dialogue and then to use it for the exercise. So I'm going to talk you through it, and then I'm going to show you Artie and Jade and anybody else who wants to join in doing this exercise. And you don't have to do it all at once, but you'll see that I can walk the two of them through it very easily in the 20 minutes that we've got. If you're doing this on your own, it might only take 5 minutes. It might take less, right? You'll probably spend more time setting up your camera than you will actually recording it. And the thing about these particular skills is that if you practice them, you will get better at them. And so you want to make the practice as accessible as humanly possible. So first one, as simply and neutrally as possible. You're just going to say the words, because this is that's that idea of like neutral or natural or believable. So it's not neutral. It's not like I am a robot. It's, look, I'm just talking. These are just facts. But sometimes if I've got an actor in class and they have trouble doing this, I'll say, okay, say the words just facts. Like just say that. I'll go, just facts. And I'm cool. And I'm like, okay, cool. No matter how weird the line is, say it exactly the same way you said just facts. Then choose what happens in the story before you say your line, and at least 5 seconds of you seeing, hearing, or reacting to that. Keep all of your eye lines, remember that's the line between your eyes and what you're looking at, close to camera. So just one side, just the other side. Sounds are okay, but don't add any words. It's your moment before take. Choose what happens in the story right after you say your line. Right? So the whole idea, you'll hear sometimes acting teachers especially say acting is reacting. And the idea is that what happens before the scene, what happens after the scene, what you see and you hear, that's all just as important as the lines. And particularly in the case of an audition, every single actor will say the lines. Not everyone will do the life of the scene, will bring in the moments before and after and the reactions and the in-between. Choose your strong feeling or opinion about the line, that's your opinion take. Choose who you're saying the line to, that's your relationship take. Choose what you want to make the person do or feel, and use the line to try and make them do or feel that. Don't add any words. It's your objective take. Objective is the word that acting teachers will use for what does your character want. And I think that the most effective, there's lots of ways to think about objective. The most effective way that I've found is to talk about objective, or to use objective in a way that really makes a difference for people's performance, is what are you going to make people do or feel? And then we've got this really simple move your body in a way that helps tell the story with the line. And then I was feeling a little sassy on this one, so put all the steps together. So now this take is 15 seconds long, but it's got more listening and seeing and reacting than speaking, right? In fact, it should have twice as much, listening and seeing and reacting as speaking. Like the line's just a thing in the middle. This is your good acting take, right? But we're building up to it one step at a time. And then now do the line however you want. And this is your acting is supposed to be fun take, that you just you mess around, because if you're going to go to all the trouble of setting up the camera, you want to shake up your own sense of perfection by giving yourself something fun to do. The Dia asks a great question in the chat. When should we incorporate relaxation exercises? Before step one, or just before the final tape. Also, what are some of your favorite relaxation tips? Okay, let me pull up something from a previous lesson that I want to use in talking about that idea, which is, there it is, the stress performance curve. So in order to answer your question, I'd need to know what your reaction to stress is. And I think this is something everybody's got to decide for themselves. So if you finish setting up the camera and you've got your single line of dialogue, and then you just take a second and check in with your body. And if you're like, then yeah, it's a great time to do some relaxation exercises, any kind of relaxation exercises. And if you get all set up and you're like, I just feel super chill, then relaxation exercises might not be what you need. What you might actually need to do before you do the take is jump up and down a bunch. And so this is something that if you go back to a previous lesson that was all about confidence, and ease, and this pressure or stress performance curve. The idea is that stress is not bad. Stress kicks your body into this adrenaline or norepinephrine response. And some of it is necessary. It narrows your focus. It gives you like more energy, gets your body ready to do things. And figuring out what is the optimal zone, where's this green zone for you, requires some self-awareness. So before you start the exercise, I would recommend checking in with your body and seeing how you're feeling. And then in terms of favorite relaxation tips, the very simplest thing you can do is breathe. And so hopefully at some point in this exercise, either Jade or Artie will start to get like excited, and then I can show you in real time what that looks like, to help ground them in their bodies a little bit in the performance. And so I grabbed some of the lines from the PDF, and really it's 52 pages. Like you'll find lines that you like in there. You just pick one of them, but here we go. And so Jade, pick one of these lines. It doesn't really matter which one. Which one do you want to do? Jade. Oh, I think.
No.
Which one do you want to do?
I could do the first one.
Okay, you're gonna do the never again, never again. Just that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, great. And so.
I just say it like
And so
normal.
I don't know if you remember, but the very first one,
Mm.
is to just say it and to not do anything in particular with it, right? So just say that line, like it's no big deal.
Never again. Never again. Well, that was a success.
Oh, sorry, no, that was just a typo. It's two. That's two different lines. So you're just going to say never again, never
Oh
again.
yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Oh
so
yeah.
just say
Never
it.
again. Never again.
Great, and do even less. Be quieter. Say the words just facts. Just say that. Say just facts. Just say
No,
it.
that just as
Just,
fact.
just facts. Good. And now
Never
say,
again. Yeah.
yes, good. Now that's your foundation, right? It's that simple. It doesn't feel like acting because it's not. It's just totally, completely foundation of realism. Sorry, I get excited about acting. I didn't mean to like raw at you there. Good. And then Artie, pick one of these lines. If there's one that you like.
I'm a genius.
Perfect. And then just say the line.
I'm a genius.
Good. And then tell me what you had for breakfast. Actually.
I had porridge.
Good. Now that simply, just like you said that, say the words. I'm a genius, just like they're a fact.
I'm a genius.
Good. And you're still trying to act it. You're trying to sneak in some acting there. So make your voice quieter and say the words just facts.
I'm a genius.
No, say the words. Actually, say the words just facts.
Just facts.
Yeah, say just facts. Super simple, super quiet. Say just facts.
Just facts.
Good. Now say the line like you said that.
Like I'm a genius. Say that or just
Yes,
facts?
yes. Good. That's it. That's our foundation, right? So that's like, and because she was asking me a question, she didn't have her eyes on herself, and so we didn't get the we didn't see her acting. And that's what we want is we want a foundation of like I'm just saying these words. Okay, so the next step is decide what happens in the story before you say your line, right? So Jade, what is the thing that has just happened before you say never again? And just decide. It can literally be anything.
Like maybe like something traumatic, and then like
Yes, but pick what it is, right? Like be really specific. Pick something really simple that you can imagine really easily.
yeah,
Right? You've just spilled your breakfast. Okay, so look down on the floor on the opposite side of the camera, and I'm just picking something because you were having trouble thinking of something. So look down on the floor, on the other side of the camera. It's down there, and just look at the like milk soaking into the carpet and all of the like little breakfast cereal bits on the carpet, and take 5 seconds to just look at that and go, ah. And then look up at me and say the line, never again, never, never again. Okay, so you're going to do 5 seconds of reacting to this imaginary thing before you look at me and speak. Do you understand? Great. Stand by.
Yep.
And action.
never again, never, never again.
Great. And so that's a moment before. Artie, if you were going to do the same thing, what has happened or what is happening right before you say I'm a genius?
I think like I just
Oh, sorry. No, this is Artie
put
now.
in like that.
Artie, what happens right before you say I'm a genius?
I remembered something.
Great, and you have to be specific. So this thing that Jade and Artie have done, and I'm so glad they're being brave and being volunteers for us, you will notice in yourself. Absolutely everybody, when they're asked to make a choice, will usually be vague. They'll be like, it's something. I have a feeling. I'm sort of angry. And the more specific you are, the more you're like, here's something actually specific, which is why like breakfast cereal on the carpet worked really well for Jade, because it was something that was like so simple that she could picture it really clearly. Right. So, whereas something is so vague that it's impossible to picture clearly. So do you want to take a stab at being more specific, or do you want me to give you something, Artie?
Maybe you want to give me something.
Of course. Yeah. And what you will often find, is that, right, this is the thing about acting teachers. Like acting teachers, it's not magic. It just literally is easier if somebody else makes the choice for you. But what the goal is as a professional actor is to move towards being able to make all the choices for yourself, and to approach them just as cleanly and clearly as when a teacher makes the choice for you. You're like, okay, yeah, cool, I can do that. So the so you've got your desk perfectly organized. So I want you to like, again, pick the other side of the camera from where you're looking at me. So, and I want you to like straighten something, and then I want you to straighten it again, just a little bit more. So it's perfectly straight. I want you to make whatever happy sound goes that Artie would actually make when her desk is perfect. And then you're going to look back at me and say, you're a genius. Stand by and action. Look at the desk.
I'm a genius.
Right, and so that's the moment before. Now, Jade, what happens immediately after you say never again, never, never again? Oh, now you're gonna have to unmute yourself. I'm muting you in between takes.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like she would be trying to escape from the situation. Like,
You're just
oh,
gonna leave. That's a great idea. Good. So after you said never again, instead of cleaning up the cereal, just look around and see if anybody can see you, and then just slowly start to leave frame so that like nobody can catch you because you've spilled the cereal, right? So this time you're just doing the moment after. You're going to say the line and then give me those 5 seconds after. Stand by and action.
never again, never, never again.
Take your time. Oh, can anybody see me? Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. I don't want to clean it up. Oh God, I'm gonna leave. Yeah, and then start to leave. Yeah, good. And that's the whole scene. That's your moment after. Artie, after I'm a genius, what's the next thing that happens? Right. So you've got your desk perfectly arranged. Do you say I'm a genius and then?
I smile.
And so a reaction, or a feeling is not a doing. And again, I'm really grateful for the two of you having, but what we need is behavior, is story in the world. So what's going to happen is you're going to open your laptop and you're going to begin ferociously typing the great Canadian novel, and you're just going, yeah, like, oh, you're just loving everything that's coming out of your keyboard. Okay. So
Okay.
stand by for the line and action.
I'm a genius.
Cut. Exactly. Right. And so you've got something before, something that comes after that moment before, moment after. And I'm sure Leanne will talk about this on Monday because she's doing a whole lesson on how to prepare 1- and 2-line auditions. And that moment before and moment after is really important if you're preparing 1- and 2-line auditions, right? Everybody says the words. Not everybody does what's right before or what's right after. So that's one of the only places the actor has to like bring their understanding of the story, their creativity, their sense of what's happening. Right. The next exercise here is choose your strong opinion about the line. And so if we were going to, and so the next thing that we would do, and they're already really doing it, but maybe it would make it a little bit clearer to make a choice, about the strong opinion. So Jade, what's your strong opinion or feeling about this line? Never again, never, never again.
Like, I feel like because like it's an absolute, so when you say that never, it's like really like you can feel the
Gotcha.
characters like
Right. So there's
intense.
there's some like intensity to it, right? And so
Yeah, there's an intensity.
sure, great. So try the line and just um, risk going for it. Like even if you end up backing off, you've still got your baseline take of like totally normal, But now give me the line and just really go for that intensity. Try it. Go ahead. Action.
Never again. Never. Never again.
Artie, what's your strong feeling or opinion about being a genius?
I don't know.
And you just need to pick a strong feeling, or opinion. And so what was the last one? You smile, right? And so give me the feeling that goes with that. Like that was your impulse. Like so, let's go with what your impulse was. So what do you call that? Happy, joyful, excited, discovery. What is it? It's discovery. So this go like lean into the discovery and give me the I'm a genius. Stand by and action. Discovery.
I'm a genius.
Yeah, exactly. Good. And so Artie's adding each thing as you go, and it doesn't say that on the PDF, but I think it's a great idea, right? So that's so I'm learning watching this because I just wrote this yesterday, and I'm learning by watching you, Artie, that actually it makes perfect sense to add each one, as we go. Right. So the next one is who you're talking to, and I'm seeing that we're getting close to 4:30. So the like it looks like in this case I'm going to skip that one because both of them seem to be talking to themselves. Right, and like in this case we've set up scenarios where both of them are essentially alone and we're witnessing them in a private moment. The next step after that, if you've got, and Candy, maybe I can get you to do just the objective. So do you see these lines that are here in the chat window? Okay, so Candy, pick one of those lines. Yeah, and or if you can't see them, let me give you one. But come on back so we can see you.
Okay.
Which line are you going to do?
Well, that was a that was a success.
Great. And now you're talking to your like, so if we're going to add relationship, and with just the line, we would say, okay, now you're talking to your like overbearing boyfriend who's like, no, get out of the way, I'm going to take care of this, and then just totally messes up. Be like, you're trying to fix the sink. He's like, get out of the way, and then. Psh, water spraying everywhere, and like you feel vindicated because he was a jerk, and then you say the line to me.
Well, that was a success.
Great. And then the next thing is objective. So now that we've got the relationship, it's like, what do you want him to do or feel? Right? Do you want him to step out of the way? Do you want him to feel stupid? Do you want him to laugh? Like, what do you want him to do or feel?
Probably just like, well, thinking about my reaction first would be like, great, you just made a mess. So I want him to be like just as annoyed too. And then
Good. So you
like,
want
kind
to
of sarcastic, like,
so you want
great.
so you want to annoy him.
Yeah.
Right. And so the following and this is why I love doing live examples, because because I've been in the acting teacher language so long that I really need your help making sure it's in plain language for everybody to understand. The thing that Candy did is really normal for basically everybody. They're like, well, here's how I feel, but I don't want to play that result. I don't want to play just me, being frustrated or annoyed. Oh, okay. So in order to make that alive, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and annoy him. I'm going to take that. I'm going to make him annoyed, because you know how to do that, right? Like, and maybe annoying a partner, is not really your jam, but you've got a brother or a sister or a parent who you're like, oh, I just know just how to annoy them. So make me as annoyed as possible with the way that you say the line. Just really annoy the heck out of me. Go for it.
Well, that was a success.
Good. Look at me and say, you completely suck.
You completely suck.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and go further with it. Just say just really go for the you completely suck.
You completely suck.
Yeah, good. Now say the line like you said that.
Well, that was a
Yeah.
It's not coming out.
Yeah, but you get
Okay.
the idea. You get the idea.
Yeah.
And so that
Okay.
that's, you won't find that on the PDF, but that's the objective phrase exercise that you'll see if you go back and watch any of the 10 questions to understand story lessons. A lot of the story lessons use that particular exercise. Thanks for demoing for us, Candy.
Thank you.
The next and last thing that's there on the list, is move your body in a way that tells the story, which we already saw Jade do, and we actually already saw Artie do, right? Like Artie's, got her keyboard and she's playing with things. We had Jade like slinking off, and so that's the character lines exercise, and it's my strong hope, that seeing me talk about it, man, yeah, that took 20 minutes. Doing it yourself will take 5. And setting up the camera will take you longer. And honestly, you don't have to set up the camera. You can just point a light at your face, put your phone down, press record. Right? I just see too many actors so talk themselves out of practicing because they're like, oh, it's going to require a bunch of stuff, and so I'll just wait until I can have all the stuff ready. And that's a really easy way to dodge the practice every day. And I know I've done that for myself. I've gone months sometimes, thinking, oh yeah, I just have to have the stuff ready. And it's like, I think maybe that stuff was just an excuse because I was nervous about practicing. I listened to a wonderful interview with a neuroscientist just today, who's basically saying that the initial stage of doing anything that requires effort and focus feels in the body like agitation, because that is that adrenaline response. Like that's actually part of focusing on something. And so getting used to the idea that when you first start an activity, it's going to feel like agitation, but there's going to be a that happens in your body a little bit. And so noticing that, and simply accepting that, yeah, that's going to happen at the beginning, and it doesn't mean that it's not the right time to do this acting. It doesn't mean that it's a bad idea to practice. This is just actually what learning something new feels like. Can be useful, something to bring into the thinking. Okay. That was all the lesson I had planned for today. Come back for 1 and 2 lines with Leanne on Monday, and then self-tape review with me on Tuesday. Does anybody have any questions that you want to ask before we sign off for today?
I had a question about the self-tape thing, and can I do even like quotes that I like kind of as a line, or as a
I-
self-tape idea?
Honestly,
Just a thought.
anything that gets you practicing, I'm 100% supportive.
Okay.
I recommend picking something that you can deliver as naturalistic dialogue.
Okay.
Picking something that is like poetic,
Mhm.
right? Picking Shakespeare or Rumi or something
Yeah.
will, like, it's totally doable. You just will make that exercise more challenging,
Okay.
right? If the uh, right now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by the son of York, is just going to be a lot harder, to go like, oh wait, okay, just facts. Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by the son of York. Okay, but now it makes no sense. Right, like that it's the more poetic the language, the more the more difficult you're making it for yourself. And so,
Gotcha.
but honestly, if that's what excites you, do that, whatever. Like,
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
the point
It's
is
been
just,
a long time, but I did take a Shakespeare class a while ago, so I'm a little bit familiar with Shakespeare, but I wasn't thinking of doing Shakespeare. So
yeah. Well, but that's my caveat around using quotes, or anything
gotcha.
with flowery language.
Yeah.
Is it actually would probably be more useful at the very beginning to do something like, where are you going? Right? Like,
Yeah.
a couple of words, it can be taken 1,000 different ways. You can write 1,000 different little stories with it. And so what you're focusing on is delivering a few words, playing with the tools, playing with the camera, as opposed to anything complex about the language.
I get it. Yeah. Gotcha. Thank you.
Can you overdo it? So Dia has this great question. Can you overdo a tape or do it too many times? And so, Dia, you're asking all the good questions today. Thank you. Uh, I'm going to show you. This is something that I found online. I was looking for a visual of this concept from learning theory, which is the idea that something often gets worse before it gets better. And so this the gentleman who drew this called it a bipolar learning curve. I can't remember the actual name of the concept in learning theory, but the idea is that getting to an initial point of proficiency is very fast, right? So if this is confidence or fluency, this is sort of skill, and then this is the amount of time that it takes, that there is right away. It's like, I suck, I can't do this at all, but then, oh, I'm getting it, boom, I got it. And so that's where it's still, you've got kind of this basic proficiency, but it's still basically unconscious. And if you want to get more skilled than this, like if you want to, so this is competence, and then up here is like professional skill level, like professional level performance. And so basic competence, especially once you've got those foundation tools, which I know you do, can happen very, very fast. And then what happens is, in order to get better than that sort of first, like, I'm just using my intuition read, you've got to start to analyze it and pull it apart and think about it. And that thinking process actually makes the performance less good. Like it, because now you're thinking about it. Right up here, you weren't thinking very much at all. You read it a couple of times. You gave yourself a word or two to play with, and you're okay. I got my moment for boom, competence. And then I'm thinking about it, and what am I doing with my face, and is my eyebrow doing the thing? And now all I'm seeing is that I'm in my head. And this is where a lot of actors fall into the trap of thinking, oh, I've over rehearsed it, or I've done it too much, instead of realizing that this is actually a very normal part of rehearsal. Right? Anybody who's done a play will have experienced this process where it's like, it's really alive, and then, oh my God, these words are just dead because we've said them so many times. And it's only after that you start to build back up again, and it does take more time. Right? It dips, it comes back up, it flattens, and then there's this much slower gradual rise. So I believe that the person who made this curve was sort of informed by science, but was really just drawing a curve. So I will not vouch for sort of their measures here, but you can see just visually, it's like this one took like a fifth of the time, and then this one takes the other 80% of the time. The other way to think about it is this is that 20-80 rule. You often get 80% of the benefit in 20% of the time. But this level of competence, if you are, say, an actor who's 11 or 12, then maybe your work can be just competent. But if you're going in as an adult, where you are going to be the most competitive is up here where you're giving a professional quality read. And so Dia's question, like, can you overdo a tape or do it too many times? You can definitely do it until it starts to fall apart. But on the other side of that, if you stick with it, and particularly if you have the tools or to play with, to take you out of the valley, and get it back into your body, but with these new details in it, then you can get to that professional caliber performance. And it takes time, but it is, in my opinion, worth it to put in that time. I will say that in my experience, right? So that's as a teacher, I can facilitate that process. It's easy to say, it's harder to do because anything that takes 5 times as long, I am going to run into my own perfectionism. I'm going to run into my own self-judgment, my own sense that, like, I should just have this done by now. And I definitely still run into that, even though I've had lots of practice. And so I will say that if you just establish the expectation, that I'm going to give this the amount of time that it needs, and if possible, if you can even build in, right, like you said about relaxation exercises or those breaks for yourself, like, it is possible, and I've seen this in when I'm coaching an actor, for somebody to be so focused on getting it right that really eventually all that's coming through on camera is how frustrated they are. And I do think it's important to be able to notice how you're feeling, so that if that's where you are, you can stop, reassess, give your body whatever it needs, whether that's like laying down for a second or getting a drink of water or just like going outside for a second or whatever it is, so then you can come back without that baseline frustration and be in the story again. Okay, let's wrap there. Thank you so much for coming. And Artie and Jade, thank you so much for being our demos today. Thanks for being brave and without any idea what you're going to be asked to do.
Thank you.
I will see all of you next Tuesday.
Great job. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.